Hey reader fam, it's that time of month, it's time for my reading wrap up. I didn't get to every book that I wanted to read in the month of September, but honestly, what's new? I feel like it's been a long time since I've been able to read every book off my TBR, but it's fine. I still had a really great reading month and I enjoyed every book that I read, so without further ado, let's talk about the books that I read in the month of September. The first book I read was Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series, so obviously I can't go into full detail onto what this book is all about, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would crucify me if I spoiled this book, so I'm not gonna do that because I'd rather not die. I will share just a few of my vague thoughts on this book. Manon is bae and she needs her own spin-off series. I felt a little bit of a disconnect with our main character in this story, which is unfortunate. This series is definitely moving out of YA territory into adult territory. We got some mushy gushy steamy scenes in this book. Elite is bae and she needed more chapters in this story. The ending had me making pterodactyl noises. It was a journey. I still had some issues with it, but overall I enjoyed it, and the ending just completely wrecked me. I have a full video book review on all my thoughts on this book, so if you want to hear all my thoughts, I will leave a link down below to that video. Then I read A Shadow Bright and Burning by Jessica Cluess, and I was completely surprised by how much I enjoyed this story. In this story, we follow a girl by the name of Henrietta who has these magical powers, but she's afraid to tell anybody that she has these magical powers because she's afraid that she'll be executed. But one day she is forced to use those powers because she has to save one of her friends, and instead of being executed, she's painted as the chosen one. She is then taken to go and train as a royal sorcerer. I have the hardest time saying royal sorcerer. It's so hard to say, I don't know why, but every time I say it, I stumble on it. I'm gonna try to say it 5 times fast. Royal sorcerer, royal sorcerer, royal sorcerer, royal I really loved this book. The one negative thing that I can say about this book is that I wasn't super satisfied with the ending. It just felt like something that I had seen before, but other than that, I loved basically everything about this story. I loved our characters, I loved our main character's ability. In the beginning, the author kind of introduces these different tropes that you've totally seen before in different books, but the thing that I loved about it is that she takes those tropes and just turns them on their head and makes them so different, and it just added this nice surprise factor to this book. It takes place in Victorian London and I loved that setting, which by the way, if you enjoyed the Infernal Devices trilogy, I think that you might find yourself really enjoying this book, so definitely check this book out if you enjoyed the Infernal Devices trilogy. I have a full video book review on this book, so if you want to hear all my thoughts on this book, I will leave a link down below. Then I reread Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and I'm so glad that I reread it because it just reminded me how much I love this world, how much I love these characters, and just how much I love this story because it's so freaking good. I wanted to reread this book before Crooked Kingdom came out just to like have this book completely fresh on my mind, and I'm so glad that I did that because there were so many different things that I had forgotten about. And again, rereading this just reminded me of my love for this story, so I'm really glad that I took the time to reread this. Leigh Bardugo is a master storyteller. She built up this amazing world and these characters. I can't stress how beautiful and interesting these characters are. Just the way that she delves deep into their backstories, you just feel like you know these characters so well. I also forgot how crazy the ending of Six of Crows is, so I'm really interested to read Crooked Kingdom yet. I haven't gotten the chance to read it yet, but it's definitely on my list for next month because I gotta find out what happens next. Like, please do not kill any of my babies, Leigh Bardugo. I am so nervous. I have a full video book review on Six of Crows that I posted last year, so I will leave a link to that video down below. Then I read The Call. Now, this is a book that I kind of went into not really knowing too much about it. I knew that there was this gray area and that teens were sent there and horrific things happen and somehow fairies were involved. But then I started reading this book and you kind of realize what's going on, the situation here, and it's just so crazy and horrific. It is gruesome and bloody and gory and all those scary, terrifying things. Like, this is a horror book. Let me repeat that. This is a horror book. So in this book, Ireland has been cut off from the rest of the world. Nobody's allowed in and nobody's allowed out. And the teenagers in Ireland are faced with the call, which is where teens are sent to the gray area and they have to face the fairies. And basically, once you face the fairies and once they get a hold of you, you basically have no chance of living. Like, you are dead. So the kids spend their lives training for the call. Like, that's their lives. That's their childhood. They literally spend their whole lives training for when they get the call. Even though no amount of training will prepare you for the call, and even though when you get the call, you're pretty much destined to die. Like I said, it's bloody, it's gruesome. This is a horror book. It is terrifying. If you're looking for a horror book in the month of October, because I know that I like to read creepier and scarier books in the month of October, I guess just because of the Halloween season, this is definitely one that I would recommend. I was just constantly so surprised by how dark this book went in this story. Like, it goes there. It goes to places you don't expect it to go. I'll admit that I wasn't a huge fan of the writing style, and I thought that at some point it would grow on me, but unfortunately it never did. But the story itself was really intriguing, so I had a hard time putting this book down. I just had to know what was going to happen and what the outcome was going to be, because when I started this book I was just like, I have no idea where this story is going to go, and it was super interesting. I do have a full video book review on this book, so if you want to hear all my thoughts, I will leave a link to that video down below. So those were the 4 books that I read in the month of September. Obviously I didn't get to every book like I wanted to, but that's okay. You guys should let me know down below some of the books that you read in the month of September. Which was your favorite? Which was your least favorite? I think my favorite for me was probably 6 of Crows, just because I love that story so much. And I didn't really have a least favorite for this month. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so click subscribe if you want to be notified for when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, chew. Then I read A Shadow Bright and Burning by Jessica Cluess, and I was so complete. She is then taken to go and train to become a royal sorcerer. I have a full video book.